And welcome back, everybody. Thursday, January 25th, 2024. Man, did that month fly by or what? That's crazy, dude. It's already almost February. Just like that. We are closer and closer and closer to having really kicking off our full on bull market soon. Not just yet, though. Let's talk about it over in the live chat, shall we? Crypto After Dark. Good to see every single one of y'all on here. If you haven't done so, please go hit like. 45 of you are on here already. 29 of you have hit like. Google tells me this. So if you would please go hit the like button while you're there, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything. We're over 10,000 subs now. Curious to see how far we take this thing. That baffles my mind. Again, that we even had this many people on here to begin with. Blows my mind and takes me into crazy proportional thinking, or I'm sorry, disproportional thinking, to make me think that wild things are on the horizon. You know what I mean? I don't really know the future, and I don't know how well things will or won't do, but man, I'm telling you what, the prospects are good so far. We're going to see what the next couple weeks here does to everybody, but the prospects are good long term. Let's get into it, shall we? All right, I'm going to start here, and glasses are going on because my eyes are starting to bother me today. I went through a little trap phase there where they didn't bother me so bad, so I was able to like not need them for like, I don't know, a couple weeks. I noticed today, because I stayed in here literally the entire day. I only got up to eat, and then I came back in here again, right? I got some stuff I'm working on in the background as well, so my eyes got to hurt me today. I think I was just in here too long. So, nonetheless, got Bitcoin pulled up here. I kind of want to explain what I'm going to explain to you first by showing you the daily chart first, and then I'm going to zoom way out here and show you kind of everything. The thumbnail is not clickbait, all right? The thumbnail is what the thumbnail is on purpose, all right? I don't think we're going to have this massive nuclear fallout of price drop here, but I do think it's important to look at the historical data here, which has become extremely accurate, down to a couple weeks, as a matter of fact. I want to look at that historical data and I want to combine it with what we've already got. All right. So I'm going to start here on the daily chart, right? This is important. So this is my normal everyday Bitcoin chart that I use to chart my buys and sales and what I'm thinking on the particular day, right? I just use the Coinbase one. It's the most heavily used Bitcoin chart right now. Now I use a different one at different times, but Bitcoin has the most money in it over on Coinbase now. It used to be Binance. It's not anymore. So I'm using this chart. That's the reason why. Short term here, I've got a couple little arrows drawn. And this is all underneath this red resistance line here. Now this red resistance line represents kind of a shelf of you're not going to go any higher-ish. All right. The reason that is pretty darn simple here. But you've only so far back tested resistance, and we have done no more than that. In order for us to have the hurry up and go up price style stuff, we need to get over these moving averages that aren't even up there right now. But more importantly, we got to get back over this resistance line, and it needs to stay over the resistance line. I'm not talking about for an hour. It needs to stay over there for the remainder of the week, which means it has 2 days to get up over this line, and then the weekly candles in on Sunday. And I don't think it's going to be able to maintain even if it does get over. All right. Short term beyond that, there's an even smaller, steeper trend line right here. That's not perfect. It's just an example, but it's there. Short term, we could get a break above this line and it could play around up here and make a move up. I don't discount that. However, all that's doing is creating a very large lower high for more downs. All right, that's a lower high and a lower high, and there would be higher lows in here, right? Et cetera, lower lows, I'm sorry, so forth and so on. That's on the daily chart, all right? Now, if I go pull in some fibs here, things will look very interesting. I'm going to start back in October of 23 here, because that was our local low. Our last local low was October 23. So I'm going to pull my fibs from here now. and you'll see some interesting stuff play out. All right. I'm going to switch over here to the Bitcoin index chart because there'll be some historical data that I'm going to share with you in a moment too. All right. I've got a couple lines drawn here that are support lines on a higher time frame. That's why they're where they're at. All right, let me find fib retracement. I'll go from October. We were in an uptrend. We are no more. All right, we've started a downtrend. So depending on how you draw this and how perfect you want to be, this is or is not drawn correctly. This is log mode. Now, since we don't have very many candles on the screen, I'm going to flip this over to linear mode for a second so you can get a different example of it, all right? And you'll see linear mode is very, very similar. There's hardly any difference. See that? The prices are pretty similar within a percent or two of each other. But for the argument, I'm going to do linear mode first, all right? I'm going to drag this over just a little more, right around in there. I can be as perfect as I can with it, but it might not still be perfect. So I'm going to get close, right? Let's get close. So these fib lines tell us some basic areas that we're going to go to on the way down before we find our footing and change direction, all right? The next available line, we've already hit this 382 fib at 38,796, so basically 38,008, 38.8. If we fail this one, which I do deem likely, rarely does the 382 fib maintain support. It's possible, but rarely does it do it, right? So I think what we may get is some short-term down here, followed by a little bit of short-term up and a setup for a larger down, which brings me to the date that I talked about on the thumbnail, which was Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is right here on the purple line. All right. I'm going to grab a fib time zone and I'm going to overlay this fib with a fib time zone. This is going to give us a bit of a Gann grid here. All right. And this Gann grid is going to give us more data going forward. So I'm going to grab that. I'm going to pull that up to match it. Now I've got fibs going vertically and I've got fibs going horizontally. I know it's a little messy, but bear with me. All right. Cool thing about this is, like an archaeological dig, it gives us examples along the way of what may or may not happen. In linear mode, currently we're over this 382 fib. However, you see 786 vertically just happened. All right. If we leave the fibs here, I'm going to flip them over to log mode in a second. You'll see it's a touch different. These fibs run out roughly February 22nd. Just before that is Valentine's Day. I think that may be the week of the last bit of down that we get, whether it's in that area or this area. I think that may be the last bit of down. All right. And I'll flip to, I'm sorry, that was log mode. I'll flip to linear mode here so you can see a different example. All right. Similar story, not too much changes when you pull the fibs like this from the October low to the high and just kind of measure it out. Again, Valentine's Day is over here. I think by Valentine's Day, we probably get our lows on most stuff. All right. I don't know exactly where that'll be just yet. I'm still leery of this 50 fib, which in this one is 37.8, not 38.8. I'm sorry, 37.8 is the next level down, which also happens to be an important support zone right there. That green line that I drew, you see that green line? All right. Same area. All right. That makes sense to me that it comes back there and settles down. And if it can't hold that line, the next available line down here is the 618 golden pocket area. All right. That's why I'm saying by February 14th, by Valentine's Day, we've probably already hit our low or will hit our low. I don't think we have too terribly much larger amounts of down past that. Here's why I say so. All right. I'm going to back out here. I'm going to stop this recording and start another one. All right. If I back out here, I'm going to take this Valentine's Day line off as well, because you're going to see a lot of lines pop up on the screen here. And I want you to bear with me because all this is very cyclical. And I need you to understand that I can't control this. I'm just reporting the data to you. Okay. Starting all the way back in 2012, everybody, before the halving happened, as we approached halving, we had our summer high. Shortly after the summer high, about halfway between the summer high and halving, we had a retrace. When was that retrace? About 75, 80 days from halving. Okay? Cool. On to the next halving. Here is 2016. From halving to the last low, roughly 65, 70 days. On to the next halving. Here's our 2020 halving that happened in April. Right before that, about 40 days from halving. So we went from 80 to about 75, 70 to about 65, down to about 45-ish. All right, not perfect, but close. Just trying to get close here. I'm not trying to be perfect. What I'm noticing is a lot of these retraces happen right before halving in an area that coincides with Fibonacci retracement. That's why I'm showing you what I'm showing you. All right, then here we are now. I've marked all of these. By the way, here's where we're at now, right? If you just zoom out and just look at the price action alone, don't worry about those lines. You start to see that right around here at the yellow line before halving, we had a retrace. Yellow line before having retrace. And yellow line before having retrace. Okay? All those arrows are pointing to the places where things kind of slowed down. Interestingly enough, in 2020, we made a lower high overall. See that? That's a lower high back here in 2016. That was a higher high. Right there was our previous high, and there was our new high. That's a higher high. That's an uptrend. Back in 2012, hey, guess what? There was our low, and there's our new high. That's a higher high. Guess what we're doing right now, everybody? We're making that same thing we did in 2012, 2016, not 2020, and now. A higher high before halving. That's crucial in my opinion. This shows us that not only will we break all-time high, but we're likely to get up to those Fibonacci extension ranges, which are up here in these green boxes. What are these numbers? Well, I'll tell you what these numbers are. This is roughly 100,000, 125,000, and 175,000-ish. All right? Important to note, I can't guarantee any of this. I'm not a financial advisor. It's not financial advice. I'm just breaking down a chart for you very simplistically. We took it a step farther than just before halvings. Okay? What you'll notice is pretty much in a sequence of time that are Fibonacci based, these things happen often. They're pretty easy to read. After halving, before the top, about halfway through, we slow down a little bit. After halving, before the top, about halfway through, we slow down a little bit. What do you guess we're going to do over here? All right, probably the same darn thing. Right here's 2013 between halving and the top. About halfway through, we slow down over and over and over again. We can use these key points along the way to find better places to get in and get out, start, stop, that kind of thing. We even noticed that between halfway and the top, you get your last local low, your last chance to switch, from sell to buy, or your last chance to this one was a little bit different. It wasn't quite there, but it was close. You see that? It was close. Or you could argue that was the last local low. I don't know. One of those two were close. And right over here, our last local low, all again right there about in between halfway and the top. All right. We can use all these waypoints along the way to better guide us on when to buy, when to sell, when to start, when to stop. And you can see right here that halfway to the top, that's our last local high, local low, our last chance to sell and rebuy low. And that may be where we switch from Bitcoin to altcoins. That I'm still unsure about, right? But the point is, the mathematics lines up. If I put a Gann grid on this, which I've already done for you. Oh, I didn't save it, but I'll do it now in front of you. How about that? So I'll grab the Fibonacci time zones here. And I'm going to pull this out to roughly October 2025, our 4-year cycle, because if you don't know, the same cycle happens every 4 years. I could go very, very deep in explaining it, but if I was making it up, you would all not watch. So there you go. Here you go. Now that we've got this Gann grid drawn here, we have squares that kind of show us and guide us along the way. Right now, we're currently sitting on top of this big 618 fib at 39,200. All right. If we fail this one, we are destined to go back to the next one. Interestingly enough, I want you to note where intersections happen of important fib lines, right? 618 vertically and 618 horizontally right here. They line up right here perfectly together. They line up right near halving. Halving is April 20th, roughly. That's April 15th. That's our next most important line according to Fibonacci mathematics. So, no joke, right around halving is our next most important line. What's going to happen before? Where we're likely to find our lows in here somewhere. Wherever those lows are likely to be is our last chance to buy before the big run up. All right. And when we get to this important point right here, we're probably going to get some price action. Curious what it's going to be. I'm assuming something like this, but I can't be for sure. Okay. That's my quick, easy guess. Man, I ain't got no crystal ball. But what I can tell you is we're likely to get a little bit more down here toward roughly Valentine's Day, in which we probably slow down the down. Maybe get one more little push in March. We'll see. That I can't tell you either. I can only tell you how we can get close, right? And interestingly enough, if I show you some other coins here, you'll kind of get more of a feel for it. But other important areas, the 71 fib here and the 71 fib line up at 45,000. I would assume we're at least over that by August of this year. And we keep moving along and going a little higher. 786, 786 is up here. All this kind of coincides with this trend line. Do you see that? Pretty neat. I think these are low points, honestly, and I don't think we're going to get much lower than that. I think we may challenge all-time high by the end of the year. Once we challenge all-time high, we may or may not break it. We'll see. And then 2025 is when we get up here to these upper numbers, I do believe. I don't think we get up to these numbers until then. I think we probably have an end-of-the-year slowdown a little bit. I think we may get a pullback over here in this area. And once we get that pullback, that's the last one again before you get another very sharp move up till we hit halfway, right? And then everything slows down again. Last chance. That may be where we switch to all altcoins. I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. If that makes sense to you, I'm happy. If not, we do it in the Discord nonstop 24/7. What are you waiting on, right? So let me show you some altcoins now. And let me say hey first to everyone. If you guys haven't hit like, please do. There's 97 people, 57 likes. That means only half of you, a little more than half have hit like. Please go hit like. Let's say hey to everyone. All right. Ron Poteet, good to see you, brother. Vintage Pennies, what's up, my guy? Skeleton, good to see you. Jill Sandwich, what's up, lady? How are you? Jeremy Monroe, Slutteroo, great name, dude. Existence, good evening, bro. Jeff Thomas, Soto, Raging Beagle, Ian Ionescu, good to see you. Merck, Paulo, Apolara, Bullish CEO, Paulo. Real quick, before I forget, shout out to the fellas up there in Springville, Buffalo area, up at the barbershop, JP, Josh, JB, Adam. I got a jersey coming your way, JP. Just give me a couple days, and I'll send it up there to you. I'll send it to Nick's house. He'll get it to you. It was awesome hanging out with you dudes. It's super weird that you watch me on the TV that I was sitting there watching too. Just saying it's weird to me. The beard's gone. Yeah. I shaved it down a little bit. It'll come back. Don't worry. Ariana, good to see you, man. Bullish CEO, crypto enthusiast, Orange Bear, Dreamer, Frumpo, Cycling Cotton. Miss Allison, how are you? Educated Dummy, Osiris, Burner, Spock. I was fixing to move my 401k retirement over to the ETF for long-term hold. Maybe wait. Yeah, probably after having safer. Maybe not the bottom, but it's safer. What's up, Rob? Kai Zen, Crypto Kitty, how you, ma'am? Phonic Duck, good to see you. Nate S, Jay Parnell, what's up, Jay? What's up, P? Cody Kinsel, Frank Castillo, Tex, Colo, Bill Childers, Danny Deep Pockets, Eddie Caesar, Zach, what's up, bro? Good to see you. Arrow Time Fan, bro. They don't know. I might have to wear the Bunny Money shirt again. Chadma, Raclette, good to see you, Cheezo. Geek with a Gun, Lunatic Prophet. Miss Kelly Slade, Chadma, shout out to the freaking boys. $2 in Canadian. I think that's 3 cents American. Not really. Thank you, brother. A-Dub, Fritz, Rain, DeFi Julian, Jordan Knudsen. Bro, what a name. Distinctive Shine, bro. Any chance you can have a look at Ordy? Crypto Elephant. Good to see you, brother. What's up, Nick? A-Dub. Yeah, I just shouted the fellas out over at the barbershop, Nick. So make sure they see this part 20 minutes in, or roughly about 18 minutes in. 113 people on. Let's go, bro. That's awesome. All right, so let me show you a couple altcoins here. This is where it gets pretty interesting, is when you start looking at altcoins and doing the same thing that I just did, just like on an altcoin. All right, let's do algo. So what I've done here, no, I used Binance because I wanted to keep it clean. There we go. All right, I did the exact same thing that I just showed you on Bitcoin, except I did it here on Algorand. This is still log mode. I'm going to flip to linear. It's a little different, but not too much, okay? I've got Fibonacci retracement going from the bottom up because this was an uptrend and it's clearly failed, all right? So we're measuring how far it's failing. Fibonacci retracement, it's retracing. I want to see how far. And I pulled a fib time zone exactly mirrored on top of it, okay? February 22nd right here is this next important line where 786 and 786 kind of intersect. Also, you see there's several other circles here drawn. I can't be for sure which one of these circles gets hit, but I'm certain one of them will. It's a very sharp downtrend at the moment, so I would assume there is some relief in here somewhere. Yeah, some kind of bounce up and then one more rollover and failure makes sense of some kind. But it's really interesting to show that February 22nd is the important line here. February 14th is roughly the important line I'm talking about. As you see right now, 618 horizontally and vertically together. And look where the price is right now, right near it. Matter of fact, we just went right beside it right there with that wick. All right. Interesting as hell to me to watch mathematical probabilities play out live. Some of you may find it extremely boring and stupid, but for me, this is mind-boggling to watch stuff literally stair-step its way directly to where I think it's going to go. Really cool. And using the historical timeline with what we've got really ties us in to a tight area to let us know what's up, right? So this may bottom out before it gets over here. All right. It may come in this grid somewhere here, but this tells us we have from now until February 22nd, probably to get our move in here for Algorand. And then that may be it. We've already broken the 50. We've already got the 618 hit. So it's likely to chop a little bit here. And we'll see how close it gets to my circles over here. I also have a box drawn right here. I'm kind of cool with any of those, right? And log mode, here's log. You can see we bounced to 50, but we're stuck under the 382. 786 is right here at about 10 cents. I don't think we get that far down. But, you know, there's a possibility that it could do it. We'll see. I kind of doubt that, right? I honestly kind of doubt it. And if you look at linear mode, I think it lines up a little better. 12 cent from 16 cents, 25% more down. That seems a little bit more realistic to me, but I doubt it. All right. That's Algorand. Just wanted you to see the example so you could see it for yourself. Here's Arbitrum. I think I did Coinbase. All right. Same thing I did for the others. Yeah. This is linear on log mode. I pulled from the October area, same place on all of these, from the October low to the January high. We've started to retrace. We're stuck in this grid box right here. I think next February 7th is a little bit more important here. February 7th to March 3rd. I think we get our low in this box area right through here, okay? I'm not certain how fast or slow these circles happen. I'm just certain that one of them is going to get hit, all right? And neither one of these are up here, if you notice that. It's because we are in a short-term downtrend here. This is not an uptrend. This is a downtrend. And so long as it's in a downtrend, I'm going to expect more down until I see all of them start jumping trends, all right? And they're not doing that yet. So while this one doesn't say February 22nd, it says February 7th, the week before Valentine's Day. So I think Arbitrum, same track as others. We may get this 50 fib here. I think that's probably pretty likely. I don't know if we get all the way down here to the $1 area. possible. I would say at this stage, not probable, but possible. Linear mode doesn't quite line up as well for Arbitrum. All right. I wanted you to see these examples because this is hella interesting to me. These examples show us that we definitely have more down on the horizon. If Bitcoin were to move down any more, that's going to insta-drag altcoins with it. They're going to go farther, right? We know this. They're going to go farther. So how about we look for other things here on Bitcoin that might help us out? As you see, I'm going to pull these arrows off because it's already kind of come true. That was a 1 hour chart I drew these arrows on here. You see my box right here says I'm buying this green box, right? That says March 2nd, 2 weeks after Valentine's Day. So again, I'm still kind of pushed on exactly the right day. As we get a little closer, I'll know better. But we're currently stuck over the 100 moving average, and the 8 EMA, 21 EMA is kind of pushing down here, pinching it. We're going to see, does this thing want to pop up and push through resistance here? Or does she want to fiddle fart, get pinched by that 8 EMA, and push us down below it? If we go below this 100 moving average right here, right? If we go below that, we're likely to ping pong on the bottom of it a little bit and wait for all these other EMAs and moving averages to swoop over. You'll see this 50 start to come over. Yeah. There's possibility that this thing just gets hung up under this 100 moving average right here, ping pongs around, and then makes that final move down to lower support here. All right. That's the next option. I can't be for sure. Seems pretty logical though, right? It's basic logic here. I'm not trying to like super overthink this. Let me flip over to CME and you'll see that it's very similar. CME is already under the 50-day moving average. There's a solid possibility that this thing just back tests all of this and rolls over and comes down to the 100-day moving average on CME, which is still way down here at roughly 35,005. Now that's slowly going to come up with time, right? Little by little by little. We got to wait on that. I can't rush it. I believe these little mini CME gaps closed right here, so I'm going to go ahead and take those off. And then we'll look at those in the Discord on a low time frame or something. I don't really like doing low time frame stuff on here on YouTube for you guys. Let me flip over to a different layout here. Hold on, let me do that. Save. Now let's flip over to a new layout. I want to get clean charts here. That's why I'm doing this. You can choose multiple layouts, by the way. Right here, you can pick different layouts and save them, and you can quickly flip between layouts. That's what I just did. All right, so we're back to Bitcoin CME here. I'm going to take these moving averages off because we've already seen this is 2 day. I want 1 day. 1 day. I'm going to take this off. I'm going to take this off. Now let's do some Fibonacci retracement here on CME, which you see has just made a much larger higher low and higher high overall. Very cool. How far is this going to go? It's a little easier to see on CME, and the reason I say that is CME moves just a little bit slower. It closes on the weekends, so the data is ever so slightly more sensible. All right, October area, I'll pull up to the top. I'm going to match this with linear to make sure I've got it right, and you see that looks like that linear ends in April. On April 2nd, this fib ends. Depending, but it's either way, it's pretty darn close. So I'll put a fib time zone on this also. It'll get a little messy here, but please understand it's a grid system, and that's how it kind of works. All right. Our 786 joint area is over here at 30,000. If you remember where those moving averages were, that's the 200. It's possible that this thing comes all the way down to $30,000 to the 200 moving average on the CME chart. It's possible that that happens. Probable? I don't know if it's probable, but it's possible. More importantly, there are intersecting fibs that are worth a look here, all right? 71 fib horizontal in both directions is this circle right here. As you see, all of these are below the price. This is still under resistance. It's still likely to get stuck in the mud here. I think 37.9 is a lock. 38,000 flat is a lock. All right. I think that's fairly obvious. It's going to happen. It may take a little bit to get there. And this thing may roll over and play hopscotch a little bit until roughly Valentine's Day. If you notice right here, this 71 fib is the same week as Valentine's Day on the CME chart. It makes sense to me. There's confluence there, and that's why I'm pointing it out. All right. Just makes sense to me. I hate to overthink this stuff, but we went way down. We honestly, we just went way down a rabbit hole on this, trying to get really picky about where the perfect entries and exits were here. And I think, for what it's worth, I think we've hammered out some pretty darn good spots. I sold almost everything I had a lot of money in, right? And I'm going to rebuy it lower. That's just the way it works. And I think I'm positive on everything except maybe like one. I don't know. Maybe one of them I'm not in green, but the rest of them I am. So it's whatever. Let me get a drink. All right, let's see what everyone's saying. Yeah, Colo says, is it better to set multiple targets if you're not exactly sure of the place? Absolutely. Absolutely it is. And let me show you what I'm talking about. Let me go back over here to my main one. Yeah, we can save and reload. And we'll go to the new one here. We'll flip over to ADA. And the reason I want to show you this one is because I drew a lot of stuff on this one. Kind of give everybody a freebie here, okay? Here's ADA. It's messy. I'm sorry. Let me delete this grid so it's easier to see. There you go. So this is exactly what I was talking about. I have boxes down here. I want to buy half right here. If it works out and starts to come back up and wants to break over this trend line, I will buy the rest, right? Backup plan is buy here, right? If it doesn't go down as far as I think it will, it wants to jump the trend, I'll buy the other side of this trend line and still get in lower than where I sold, which is those red lines, all right? If it comes down here in my box, it's half in. Cool. One more half just in case down here, and that's it. I'm all the way back in. My average will be in between the two, pretty close, right? Again, if I can only get one buy in and this thing jumps over this trend line, I'll buy the next piece somewhere over here. And again, averages will still be lower than they would be if I stayed in. I've bought this down here. I've sold this up here, and I'm going to rebuy it down here. That is swinging and dangling right there, everybody. That's the way it's done. I hate to tell you any other thing except that's 2 times what I had in it. All right, I bought it. I wrote it up for a good solid gain, and I'm going to sell it like I already did, and I'm going to rebuy it for even more. And I'm going to do this over and over and over the entire bull market. Not only that, I'm going to do it in front of everybody. I'm going to let you watch me do it. I'm not scared. How about that? I'm not afraid. Oh, yeah, here's an interesting lesson for everyone. After I do this, I'll tell you. That looks like March 7th when these fibs end on log mode, on linear mode here. If I pull a grid, you'll see, right, that right over here near February 14th is roughly 786, and 786 down here at 33 cents is possible. I doubt that happens, but we'll see. I'm looking more for that 40-cent area. If I get that 40-cent area right here on ADA in this green box, I'm going to be tickled pink. That's good enough for me. That's how big of a sale I sold up here. That is a 25% off after I made 100%. I put, as you see, $1,500 in this. I made that into $3,000. I then sold it, and I will rebuy for 25% more. That's $750 extra dollars. So instead of being $1,500, it'll be $2,250. Excellent, excellent, excellent. $2,250 at the bottom. I think I'll take that, everyone. And if you don't know what I mean, there's where I bought. I bought the absolute bottom of Cardano. Okay? Watch and see what happens. Doubt me. When you doubt me, I will do way, way better. All right? That's just all there is to it. I don't want everyone to doubt me because then it's just shit talking. Right? But I'll say that when people doubt me, I do my best work. People have doubted me all my life, right? And for what it's worth, they were right for a long time. And that was on me to kind of own and get better at, right? So I just had to get better at myself, not screwing things up and doing things better. And as we get older, we learn that. We kind of gain that wisdom. So let me see some more messages over here. Hey, JP said, oh, bro, $2. I got to take some drinks. Hang on. Got the bonded out. I'm working this bottle down little by little here. JD bonded. Chadma and JP sent in a donation. We drink when donations come in. Out the bottle. I don't have a cup. Ooh. That's one. One more. Sorry about the ads. Yeah, that's just part of YouTube. New stuff. Yeah. Whiskey. Okay. Let me go see some more comments. Connor, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Cycling Cotton. XRP, please. God, I can't get it out. Real quick, if you haven't done so and you're watching, I need you to understand that when halving comes, we're done. Once halving comes, there's no more people in our Discord. We're closing the doors. If you're not in there, you won't get access. Here is the link, wap.com/team786. It's very simple. I picked that domain name on purpose. It's very simple to use. All right. We do this 24/7, 365. When I tell you that there's literally almost always someone in there charting, I'm not joking. It goes 24/7, but between me, the admins, and the moderators, we are all over the world. All right. And we've got guys in China, Australia, US, Europe, all over Europe, Canada, Mexico, South America. We have people in South Africa. We have people in Northern Africa. And we have someone in Japan now. So we're literally on every continent except Antarctica, right? And hell, someone may be watching from Antarctica. Point is, we're constantly talking about charts. I try to answer every single question that gets asked. I miss some of them, and I'm sorry about that. Good luck finding another influencer who's going to tell you literally everything he does as soon as he does it publicly, all right? A lot of influencers will horseshit you on this. What they'll do is, they'll say they're buying something and they actually don't. They say, oh, I'm buying $10,000 of this. And, I'm going to, no, you didn't. Or you bought it a while back. Or you bought it way back and you want it to come up in value. So you start telling everyone you bought it, hoping that everyone else buys it and hoping you make a little bit of money. I hate that shit. All right. I tell everyone what I buy when I buy it. People are actively tracking my MetaMask wallet. You can see that I've done nothing on it ever since I sold stuff. I even had someone message me and tell me they were watching it. All right. So I'm fine with that. I'm not afraid. I'm not doing anything that would have me to be afraid. All right. When people don't want to give you this information, it's because they're doing sketchy shit. All right. I have nothing sketchy to do. Since I show you everything, there's nothing to hide. And I have nothing to lie about. So since there's nothing to lie about, what am I worried about? The answer is nothing. So I don't like telling everything I do because it's a little bit much. At the same time, it shows that I'm not trying to bullshit everybody. I'm here to help. All right. I'm not perfect and I'm going to make mistakes. I don't know what else to say other than that happens. Right. So last time, wap.com/team786. If you're not there, get there. Doors close in April at halving. With everything else. All right, so back to the live stream. All right, I got XRP I'm going to look at. We were trying to hammer entries in the Discord today. ICP chat was super busy. Absolutely, that one. Matic was very busy. People asking a lot about Solana. Some of these altcoins are just going to follow the leader. I don't think that they're ready. We can look at Ethereum and Bitcoin charts and altcoins versus Bitcoin charts and see that Bitcoin just has a grip over the market until halving, right? Then everything kind of tapers off a little bit after halving. You start seeing Bitcoin lose some of that dominance. I'm not sure how much that happens this time now that ETFs are back. If that changes things or what, I don't know, right? We're going to have to find that out. I can try to predict the future, but I'm only going to get close And close isn't good enough for most people. They get pissed when you say close, right? All right, XRP. So this is a little messy, but I want you to bear with me, all right? I bought down here. I bought more up there. It didn't work out. I ended up selling it. And now after I sold it, look how more that thing came down. Let's go. I went ahead and rebought on this wick right here. See that wick? I went ahead and rebought, as you see right there. I bought back my full position, and that's my actual average price right there in purple. So I'm good with leaving this alone now. I mean, even if it comes down some more, I think I'm okay with that. But we are in Sniper's Alley, and it is showing some signs that it wants to stop here and head back up, which is cool. I don't know how far. I want to assume back to this trend line right here. But again, that's a bit of a stretch. If I throw moving averages in there, you'll see it's got a shit ton of traffic in the way up here. All right, there's just road blocks in the way. And while it may get up there and break them, gosh, that leads me to think that there may be some slowdowns and hiccups in here along the way, and there ain't no reason to hurry up and do anything. So I didn't go haywire on this. I just bought back my original position plus a little bit, which ended up being about $1,200. I said I wasn't going to put a whole bunch in XRP, and I'm not going to put a whole bunch of money in XRP. It's in a big fallen wedge. Let me back out here, and you'll be able to see that a little better. All right, see those red lines? A little bit of a fallen wedge right there. So if it wants to fall down here to support at roughly 42 to 40 cents, if it wants to do that and get spicy down there, it's worth one more DCA because, like I said, we're running out of time here for down. We're running out of time for down. Once the down's over in February, March, there is no more. Not till sometime after halving. All right. So again, this whatever last down we have is it. And that's it. That's all there is to it. There is still some more left in here somewhere though. Okay. Prepare, because I didn't bullshit you on the thumbnail. It wasn't clickbait. It was real. There's going to be a price purge in here somewhere. We haven't even felt real pain yet. That's an interesting point. Interesting point. So me and Cheese and some other ones were talking in the Discord, and it's kind of brought up. Cheese shared the greed index, the greed fear index, right? Kind of dead in the middle, neutral. Like, I hate to break it to y'all, but y'all ain't even felt no real pain yet. So there's got to be some pain in here somewhere. We need that needle to swing back toward the fear side a little bit, because once fear comes in and wipes out retail, that's when the bigger money starts to fall in after the dumb money leaves, because you may not like the fact that it's called dumb money, and that may hurt your feelings and make you feel sad, but no one cares. For what it's worth, 90% of the market is dumb money. They don't know when to buy or when to sell. They just randomly guess based on what they read on Twitter or X. And boy, do I not do that anymore. One of the best things I've done is stopped looking at Twitter and X. I just do it for entertainment now. I like to watch GIFs of stupid shit. I like to watch morbid knowledge and the crazy videos and stuff. That's kind of fun to watch. But what's really cool is there's not very much crypto stuff on my timeline anymore since I don't look at it, right? It's just done for me now, which is pretty cool because now I just see like fun stuff that makes me happy and laugh rather than the stupid stuff. It's a good change. If you're wondering why I'm not there anymore, because I don't need to deal with all this stressful bullshit, dude. I stay in here stressed out constantly stay stressed out. It's worse now than when I had 2 jobs, right? I feel like I got to make everybody happy, and I feel like I got to get everything right. Whether that's true or not, that's how I feel, right? Crusader said, are we in a bull market yet? I think we start the bull market again. You probably missed the first half of the stream, but I think we probably start the bull market in the next month. What I mean by that is there's likely some down in here in the next month. And again, the thumbnail was not bullshit. Valentine's Day, I think Valentine's Day will be an interesting week. The week of Valentine's Day. That one we need to all have our eyes peeled hardcore. Find time to watch. All right. It's the most important time. All right. If there's no other time when you're going to buckle down and watch some charts and watch for the place to buy and be around the people who are going to find the best places to buy. It's now till halving. I mean, oh my God, people, you don't understand the opportunity you're getting. I didn't fully understand it. most of you who are watching aren't going to fully understand it. You're being gifted an opportunity that you may not ever get again. I've already got this opportunity one time and I made the best I could out of it. I'm going to do it even better this time. And if you're not going to do it any better, well, what does that say about you, right? You have a chance to change your life. Don't tell me you can't do it because I did it. I don't want to hear the excuses. I remember the things that were said to me back then that I couldn't do and I wouldn't do. And look where I'm at. All right? I'm still not filthy rich, but I live my own life now. And that's all I got to say about that, right? And who's really winning? Who's still having to work in real estate, right? Who's still selling cars? You know, who still works for an internet provider? Who still puts fiber in the ground for internet service, right? I know where you guys work. I'm not fucking stupid. I know where you influencers work. Sorry, I don't talk about that. And I'm not going to say your names of who you are, but I know where you work. You're not special. Yeah, you made a lot of money off of crypto, but you didn't do anything with it except buy more, and you never sell, so you're not rich. You think you are, but you're not because you still work for that same internet provider. All right. Let's see. Tesla had diarrhea right now. Why, Professor, when we hit the bathroom? All right, cool. Let's look at Tesla. And then we'll look at a couple stocks here on the backside. And the reason I say this is it's important. I plan on buying some Coinbase and stuff here soon, and I want to find the best price possible. All right, so Tesla hit a bit of a downtrend. Look, it tried to jump trend right here, immediately retreated under. What's the rule about the 50-day moving average, everybody? Come on and tell me, what's the rule about the 50-day moving average? Very simple. Over it, buy. Under it, sell. And look what happened recently. That's the 50 and the 200. You got crosses on both of them right here. Adios. I had drawn a couple boxes. You saw me pull this chart up just now, didn't you? You saw me pull this chart up, and I hadn't drawn anything on it before this stream. Had no idea anyone was going to ask me about this, but look at these boxes I drew. First one got hit back here in November. Now we've rolled over. Fibonacci tells us we're going to go down a little bit more. How much more? Well, let's dive in and find out here. All right, let me erase this. I can erase this. I already know it's a downtrend, and we have an even steeper one over here. All right, let's pull our fibs out and measure this up, shall we? And we shall. All right, let's put it in linear mode and log mode to double check. Yep, linear mode's a little better. All right, fibs run out on February 5th, the same week, right? The week before I'm talking about, right? So we haven't quite gotten to 1272 down here at 175 just yet. It's likely to happen. It may hesitate. It may hesitate just a little bit here, but I bet you there's some more down into this green box down here between 175 and 150. I bet you Tesla comes down there to those numbers at some point. It was already in a downtrend. You could already see that this thing was going to go down before it went down. If you were in this and you were hodling, you lost a lot of money. Why? Because it went from 264 to 182. It lost almost 50% of its value in the last month. Please understand, this is why we chart. You could have saved a ton of that, not all of it, but a ton of it, simply by riding the trend right here. This thing then failed. How far did it fail? Real far. It's down 23%. You'd have saved 23% of your portfolio had you sold your Tesla and rebought it. I got something in my eye. Sorry. It's an eyelash. There we go. So I don't think it's done either. I think there's probably a little bit left in the tank. It may take a bit. Again, it's already oversold. So it may play around down here at the bottom a little bit before it straightens itself out, but it will straighten itself out. Okay. Give it some time to tinker. Time to tinker. All right. I think it's going to do great for the bull market. It just needs a little bit of time. All right. Now, couple other ones. Coinbase. Been tracking this one very tightly. All right. Linear mode's off. I got it in log mode now. Fibonacci retracement from that same October low that I've pulled on everything else. Interesting, huh? All right, this one runs out roughly same time, Valentine's week. Valentine's week, same thing as the others. 50 fib at 115, I'm going to have a hard time turning it down if it gets there. I think it's possible it gets all the way down to 102 to 100 though, because that's the golden pocket. And we know that a lot of stocks prefer going to the golden pocket. It's already under the 50 fib on linear mode, and in fact could push all the way down to 115, 100, which is the golden pocket. Now, I'm not sure which one of those I fully believe just yet. What I do know is anywhere in this green box, I'm a buyer. That's good enough for me, because I think after this is over and this thing finishes retracing and finds its footing, once it finds its footing, it's likely, in my opinion, to go back toward all-time high. Toward all-time high from 107 to all-time high is 200%. For a stock, hey everyone, that's amazing. All right, if it manages to break any of these fibs and get up here to the extensions and this thing copies Bitcoin, then you're looking at 400%, 700%, and 1,300%, a 13x potentially on Coinbase. Now, I'm not saying that's a guarantee, but it is fully possible that these numbers up here get hit. And for what it's worth, I think they may do a split when that happens. When it gets way up here, they'll probably split and knock these prices way down, because it's going to get difficult for anybody to buy any Coinbase stock when it's $1,700 a share. And they don't have fractional shares of this. You got to buy a whole stock piece, right? That's tough. So they're likely to split it. And if they do, that'll go down to, $750 if they split it in half, right? Which means you get double the shares for half the money. Makes it easier for everyone to buy. And they may split more than that, right? They may bring that price way down. And if they do, you'll get an equal number of shares. So it's not the end of the world, right? Nonetheless, this ends off in the summer of 2025, roughly. The high in the summer of 2025 by the fibs on Coinbase. And this is why I've been watching this one, right? I think it's important to note that there's some charts out there that are crypto charts that look pretty darn good. Here's Clean Spark. All right, Clean Spark. Similar pathway here. I'm in log mode right now. I'm going to pull down here so you can see. I've got a big fib at 587, or roughly $6. It's playing around with the 50 fib on the short term right now, but this 618 and $6 at the big fib line over here line up. So I think we're going to get roughly $6 on this one. I think we'll get a shot at $6. I think I'm going to buy a little bit of this and some Coinbase, probably like 50-50 Coinbase in this. And look at the returns on this joker when it gets back up to the top here. If I bought that little green squiggly thing that I made right there, back up to roughly all-time high, that's 500%. Not bad. Even if it just gets there, 500%, not bad. Past that, 1,200, 2,200, and potentially 40x. I doubt those happen, right? I do think it likely retests all-time high, though. If that's the case, hey, that's 400 to 500% from where I'm going to buy. I'm not complaining at all about that. That's the best returns I would have ever had in any stock if it went up that high. I made 200% on GameStop last time, but like I told you, Robinhood kind of screwed me over. So I never actually got my gains. I just gave my regular money back, which I then took and put into, I think I bought Zcash or something like that with the money. But whatever. Let's see. Tesla's a good buy, he says. See, that's what I'm saying. It's not a tough spot to look at something oversold and then go, I think I'll buy some of that. All right, anywhere down here seems like a reasonable good buy for Tesla. It's not going to go horribly farther. It's Tesla. Come on. The fact that you are here right now is amazing. Keith, listen to Keith and capitalize on this moment before the next bull. Listen, thank you, brother. The fact that anyone's here at all is amazing to me. Not even watching me. Forget about me for a moment. Just the fact that anyone's here at all watching crypto stuff at near midnight. That point is not lost on me. Okay. I know it's late and I know we do this at late hours. There's still almost 100 people watching with only 5 minutes left on this. And that to me is hella impressive. Let's see. Just said there, DeFi Julian, I'm going to look for around 110 to 105 to 100, somewhere around in there. I can't turn those numbers down. Let's see. All right, I'll look at a couple more. I'm going to go do DOT. Pull up on Binance. All right, I'm going to do the same thing that I just did with the others. By the way, you'll note pretty much a head and shoulders on every single chart here. With a neckline, they're going to retest the neckline and come down. And that also creates a bigger head and shoulders. See that? It's a head and shoulders inside of a head and shoulders. There's possible that this thing just absolutely eats shit and goes way back down there. That point is not lost on me either. I'm fully aware of it. I'm watching it. I promise. I'm watching it. All right. Let's start with our fibs this way in log mode. That ends right around Valentine's Day in log mode. Linear mode, I got to drag it a little farther. That looks like March 25th on linear mode. All right, let's put some time zones in there. Right there. And again, I'm pulling from the bottom up because it was an uptrend and it has failed. And I want to know how far it's failing and when. That's the point of retracement. Checking retracement. That's the point of it. We want to know how far and when. All right, so intersecting fibs first. 618, 618 got hit. Very nice. We're still stuck under the 50 fib here, though. So it's probably going to swoop down and come back. All right, 71 and 71 is down here, and this is in linear mode. And then 786 is all the way down at 485. So between 550 and 485 just makes sense. Now, it could stay up above 580. Either way, you're getting discounts across the board here. Please note that that is the head and shoulders, and it's likely to get ugly. All right, I don't know exactly how fast or how soon, but it's likely. By the way, 786 right here is February 20th, 71 fib, roughly February 7th. So I bet you it's right in here where our action stops and reverses back up. That's where I'll be looking to buy a dot. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I still got a great discount. I won't be bitching and whining. I sold my Matic up here. All right. So I'll be getting a discount of about 27 to 30%. Can you really complain if you bought the bottom down here? Because I'm going to tell you, folks, I bought the bottom down here. Let me pull it up. Here are my buys and sells. All these buys down here were at the bottom. I bought the absolute bottom. I then sold up here. I'm looking to rebuy down on the retrace. I'm going to sneeze. Sorry. I'm looking to rebuy after that sell-off. Very simple. Not much else to that, right? Sell-off, I'm getting a rebate. How much did I make on the way up? My average price was in purple to the red. I made 50%. I put in about $1,500. So I made $750. And then I'm getting, okay, so total I pulled out looks like $2,450, roughly $2,500. I'm saving about 25% on that. 25% of 2,500, pretty darn good, okay? I'll take about $650 savings. Not bad, okay? Not bad. Extra money for me that went in at the bottom because I'll end up with more coins than I started with. This will actually drag my average price down a little lower, but I'll adjust that when it's time, all right? So, dude, that was a hell of an hour, wasn't it? That went by pretty darn fast. Pretty darn fast. I want to thank all you guys for watching. And if you're gals out there, I'll thank you gals for watching or whatever you identify. The beautiful thing about crypto is we don't really give a shit. Just show me some charts. We can all work together. I don't care what you look like, where you're from, who you are, your nationality, your ethnicity, your race. None of it matters to me. We're all here to make money. We're all here to make money together. Thank you all for being on here. From me, from the assassins, I appreciate you all. I'll leave you with these three things. Make the best of your todays the worst of your tomorrows. That's Jay-Z. If you could have been anywhere in the world, you chose to be here with me. I appreciate that. That's Notorious B.I.G. And lastly, if nobody else tells you today that they love you, just know that Keith loves you, all right? It's all love from me over here, no hate. Y'all be good. Sky's the limit. See y'all in the next stream. Peace.